that resin that you're collecting, that's what really counts. You're just collecting it. It's the dude who grew that resin that really makes the game.
We broadcasting live like ABC 7. Got Mendo dope vision for high grade resin. Top shelf and dank smoke clouds of sticky goo. Pressing out my hash with this happy daddy too. Make them drool when I open my containers. Real plant to other trees, ain't just an entertainer. Take a look behind the scenes. I'ma show you how it's done. From the shovels digging holes to the final day it's hung. Now my weed is getting spun, cause I wash it, I don't blast it. No butane in my lungs, ain't organic, I'ma pass it. Assassins got me blasted, that's a hash joint with no weed. Now watch me change the weather, make it snow with the silk screen. How can I maintain a sane mind frame in an insane world? That's why inhale plain.
What's up? Mendo Dope with a little bit of Ash music featuring Cheech. We got a pretty cool show for you guys tonight. God, we're going to devote the whole show to learning everything we can about leaf. And William has been nice enough to join us tonight, and he is a hash aficionado, and he was going to be on the show last week, but he was smoking some really fucking good hash. And so we've got him here to ask him and torture him with all kind of questions. So we'll be with you in just a few minutes. Getting down to business this week, if you're following the garden, the pool grow online, we're pretty excited and nervous. We followed the recommendations this week of the guy that sells the grow fish in cages. And I mean, if you guys who scrog, I'm not a scrogger, okay? It's not my game. I grow trees. I grow bushes. And my game was to grow some trees indoors. But as I started doing it, I realized that first thing that happened, my cover crop died off because fucking lights can't see the cover crop. And then my lower branches started dying off because I didn't have sunset coming from the east and setting in the west like a normal crop. And I learned that growing trees indoors is a little bit different. So this guy contacted me, Grow Fish in Cages, and we put them in and we started working on them. And then we realized that we needed to push the cages down and spread them out. And we did so. And then Dredd started talking with the guy, super nice guy, and started talking with you fucking scrog bastards. I hate you fuckers. Now, right, today, you guys are not my fans. If we pull 30 pounds out of the pool, I'm going to lick all y'all's ass cracks, okay? But today, I'm not happy with you. So you go, oh, yeah, take all the leaves off the bottom. Take everything off the bottom that's not over the canopy and just put everything through a hole. And y'all know those huge, giant trees that were in my garden? Well, now they're 5-foot canopies. And I ain't kidding you. It's little teeny plants. I like that. And I'm freaking out. But last night when I finished, all you scroggers told me this. I said, Sub, it looks fantastic. This is exactly what you want. So Dredd kind of finished off this morning, and the concept here is we fill that entire pool with cannabis. We've stripped off all of the leaves below so that no energy is going to them, and all the energy is going to go above. From a guy who grows trees, this little bit of growth on top of this damn massive trunk is freaking me out. But I see the people in channel telling me, just wait, Sub, you're going to have an ocean. So that's been going on out there. Super excited about it, but man, do we have a lot going on. We were going to bud yesterday, and we have tucked and cut, and we're going to bud in 2 weeks. We're going to bud on the 31st, which I believe is it a blue moon or is it a full moon? I think is it a blue moon?
I believe it's the blue moon.
But we're gonna bud this motherfucker once in a blue moon, baby. I thought that was just right. So, Sub, when you gonna bud them motherfuckers? On a blue moon. I thought that kind of fit well with us. Also this week, we are excited to announce we got swag in. You guys have been asking us for swag forever and ever and ever. We do not have the TGA clothing site back up, and it may be a while. I did not understand how long it takes to build and code stuff that I'd built for 20 years when it disappears. So it will be a while before we design everything. Every piece of clothing we own burn up. It's gone. So we'd have to design it all again. Just so you know, to stock the TGA clothing store with 10 items of everything we had, it's $32,000. I ain't spending that right now to buy a bunch of hats that you guys ain't gonna buy. So what we've done is we designed, this is the very first design. This is the new Dank hat. I designed it basically for me and Will. Will wears one with a snapback on the back, on the back, and I wear a flex fit because I like to wear my hat backwards. We had them custom made with the Dank signature, and these you can contact Scarlett or go to the TGA website and just contact Subcool. I mean, it's pretty much, people have a hard time contacting me when I'm in chat all day long. People say, hey, Sub, how do we get your seats? How do we get in touch with you? And, I always make the joke, you can run around out in your fucking front yard and yell like a lunatic. You can ask the gas station attendant. You can ask the guy at Kentucky Fried Chicken, but he probably don't know how to fucking get in touch with me. So if you want to get in touch with me, you can go to the TGA Genetics website and contact. Also, the cool-ass shirts that we have, and I'm not going to bring one out here. You guys have seen us wearing the shirts. We added Weed Nerd on the sleeve in Zozo font. I had an artist design the font in a Zozo. That's the words of Led Zeppelin. And I had him put Weed Nerd on it, and bam. So you can contact Scarlett for those. OG Brick, we don't have a combo price yet on it yet. I think they're $35 each for the stuff, for the custom ones. We didn't go up on the shirts. I tell you guys too much. And since we got one guest tonight, I'll go a little here. And this is going to sound like I'm dogging somebody, but I'm not. We've been doing business with somebody for a long, long time, and I really like his work. He made all the hoodies, all the hats, all the shirts, everything you've ever seen he made, and he's a friend of mine. So when we got the shirts made, he had them made, and they came in, and they looked pretty good, and we sold them to you guys, and then we made a couple dollars profit on each shirt. You don't make a ton of money on clothing in my business. The money on we make is for you guys to wear shirts, see some cool guy or some cool guy walking down the damn street. So when we get to remade them, I wanted to put the Weed Nerd on the side. So he gave me a price on adding that, and the shirts were like $23 each. So fucking for a T-shirt, bro, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to sell that thing for $60. I'm going to sell it. Now we buy bamboo, and we buy super spun, super fancy shirts that you want to wear. This is how I designed my shirt company. I put a shirt on. I go, do I like this shirt a lot? Cool, I'll sell it. Put one of those piece of shit Gildans or Hanes or concert T-shirts on. You know what I mean, right? Fuck this piece of shit. I don't sell that shirt. Anyway, at $22, $23, it's too much. So we went to somebody local. We were able to get the same bamboo in a Hanes, skip the $100 shipping, and bring the price down. So a lot of times it's not about beating somebody up for a price. A lot of times it's about shopping. So we got somebody local, Hanes bamboo, really well made, and little things that weren't getting done. A white background before you put the yellow or the green down makes it flash. This hat actually here is sewn, so it pops. But anyway, enough on the shirts and hats. We're slowly rebuilding the stuff. I'm working on getting a JTR hat pin, stuff like that. Also, if you guys contact Jill, Jill has hat pins and stickers and magnets too. Just want to give a shout out because people were contacting me this week asking me how to get a Jill hat pin. I can't help you with it. So you can hit her on Instagram. Let's see. We have some exciting news to tell you about, and it's a little out there. I called Ed this week, Ed Rosenthal, and I'm going to recant the story because it's so fucking funny. So I'm talking to Ed and Jane, and the only last time I talked to Ed, I called him and told him my house burnt down. I had all these problems to call him, and this time I called him in a great mood, and he said, well, as long as you're not calling me to complain, I'll listen to you. So I said, all right, Ed. I said, well, what I've done is I've moved to Mesa, and I've drained the pool. And I filled it up with giant pot plants. And the reason I have them so big is because they have a strange count down here, and we're legal, and we're trying something new. We're growing big, giant plants, staying within our numbers. And then he goes, hang on, Sub. I said, okay. So I hear him put it on. Him and Jane are really close. So I hear him put it on speaker. Jane, yeah, this is Subcool on the phone. He's moved to Mesa, and apparently he's drained his swimming pool, and he's growing some giant plants in there. You can kind of guess what plants they are. She's like, tomato plants? He's like, that's right, dear. They're tomato plants. So I invited Jane and Ed to come down to the house, and I hope they will. But more importantly, I asked Ed if he would come on the show, and he said he would be more than happy to. So Madigar texted him. He didn't text back because Ed is an aficionado of technology. But that afternoon, when you guys were in here, he joined the Instagram feed, which means he's trying to connect the dots. So we will have Ed very soon with you guys on the show, and Ed is a blast to be able to sit and talk. I don't give the man enough credit because I made fun of some of the things he taught us, like Photos Interruptus. Y'all remember that? Just so you know, do not interrupt the fucking bud cycle of your plants with fucking 18 and 6, and don't do that one, okay? But the guy taught us how to grow. If you're my age or maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, when you grew up, you had a book laying on the back of your toilet. And it was called Marijuana Grower's Handbook. It's how we learned to grow pot. And Ed wrote the motherfucker straight up. He wrote it. Ed also published my book. And he has been a friend from very fun. So love Ed very much. And what an honor it has to be able to A, pick up the phone and call him and have him answer. And B, to have him come on the Weed Nerd Show. So I wanted to also let you guys know we screwed something up really bad last week, and we have a CBD package. Let me get this out here this week because we're going to get this right this week because I took a bunch of grief for it last week. I'm going to get it right this week, okay? I promise. So we have, it was donated to us, some CBD. So it's CBD cream, which I actually used one that was given to me on my cast this week, and it helped with itching. Yes, 286. I know you know the number. 3 CBD cartridges and a gram of CBD isolate at the 8 o'clock hour. Do we have the software to pick a winner, Madigan? Did you get the software to pick a winner?
I don't have Nightbot, not what Dago uses now.
You suck.
That's got to be done from your side.
You don't have a wheel or some shit you can spin?
Let me Google a comment picker.
Okay, pick a comment picker. Get that done for us. At 8 o'clock, we're going to use technology to pick a winner, and these gifts are going to go out. I swear to God. Somebody got really mad last week, and all that happened last week was I got tired of watching the numbers. They streamed for 20 minutes, and so I called the contest. After the contest, 2 or 3 people were like, I got it right, and I was rude to them. I said, fuck you, too bad. Went off too long, and they probably hate me now. But I'm often flippant, and people think I'm being rude. We just couldn't let the show go on for 15 minutes for one contest. We're still going to have a contest tonight. And I know all you same people are still in the channel trying to win. So we're going to do a redo. So I'm going to kick it over real quick. Well, not real quick. Finally, after rambling on, we have a special guest tonight. William is with Leafly. Every one of us knows Leafly. I mean, my God, you go over to the site and you start typing and you find out that, hell, I wasn't even accepting my brand over there that's up there. I found Jack the Ripper, Pennywise, all kind of strains. We also have reviews on hash and weed and flowers and shops and, oh my God, every single thing. It's a kind of a one-stop review site. William is with us. I believe he smokes hash. How you doing tonight?
A little bit from time to time.
Cool, bro. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sub?
I'm fantastic. I'm a big fan of this THCA isolate that I smoke all the time, and I think you have something with you yourself, huh? Some crystals. What kind do you have, bro?
These are just straight THCA diamonds isolate.
Gorgeous. So before we get started talking about Leafly, and Dago has joined the channel. How are you doing tonight? Looking mighty dapper.
Doing pretty good, Subcool. How you doing?
I mean, what you look fantastic, bro. What the hell's going on? It's the G Money outfit you got going.
Oh yeah, you always gotta show up. This is corporate Dago. We're showing up in style for the Subcool show, you know.
You look marvelous, baby. You look marvelous. Well, we're just getting with William. He's going to tell us how he got with Leafly and how long he's been there and a little bit about his position.
Yeah, I've been with Leafly for a little over 3.5 years now. I just sort of landed on their marketing team originally, and I've kind of sprouted my own role there since then. I've been, a passionate cannabis advocate for as long as I've been introduced to the plant, and I've just sort of found my way throughout various touch points of the industry, and Leafly's sort of been a good home for me the past few years.
Awesome. And so, I mean, we've been making fun that you're the hash sample guy, but fucking for real, that's your job, right?
That is a fair portion of my job. Yeah. I go by the Avid Dabber on Instagram, and I keep a weekly column that's dedicated to hash and concentrates. So that's sort of where my passion, my niche passion lies within the industry. But, it's a beautiful plant, and I love all it can provide,
So since you do see this a lot and you're definitely plugged into the market. So I right now am a crystals and resin guy. I like terp sauce. I like a little terp sauce. I like a little crystals. That's kind of what I like to smoke. You know, for a long time, I was a rosin freak, and that's because I had a rosin press and about 150 pounds of weed to smash.
Yeah.
Somebody brought us over today, and I don't want to say the kind because somebody brought us over some nice keef rosin. Tastes very
That
tasty,
looks beautiful.
very pretty.
I got
I like the A better. So my point is, what's your favorite? Keef, A, rosin, Frenchy cannoli, Bond, bubble. What do you like best?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat, you know, 6-star hash rosin or just straight ice wax. You know, I have a little bit of ice wax here. What is this? This is the Lemonada, and I've been pretty obsessed with this lately. And I have a little bit of this dry sift rosin that I got. It's kosher tangy, and the terps on that is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when it comes down to it, if I had to choose, I would always choose solventless, but I appreciate hydrocarbons and I appreciate the advanced technology of extraction that is sort of allowing us to explore the plant on a molecular level, you know?
Dude, I love the way you just said that. So scientifically, I would say it like this. I've always been a bubble hash guy, sift guy, rosin guy. I used to actually tell people not to smoke solvents. And then technology got better. People started cleaning, testing, doing a better job, using proper equipment instead of a piece of PVC out in the garage. And then one day I tasted a crystal of Farmer John's sauce, and I've never been so fucking high in my life off of 2 hits. People say, why do you smoke sauce now? So you used to say, don't smoke. Why? Because the shit is fucking awesome. And I don't know how to explain it any better than that. 3 hits of pineapple sauce and you can talk to God. So, but I did want to ask you something specific. So you do see a lot of hash rosin. So do you see like liquid hash rosin that actually looks more like an extract with terps versus the cakey stuff?
I've seen some what I would classify as solventless sauce. But you know, I wasn't really there when it was processed, so I don't totally know how they sort of ended up there, if you will. So I have seen a few things like that, but not very commonly, no.
Now, do you are you privy to pricing? I mean, I know you see the products from all the places. Do you get to see what the shit costs too?
Yeah, I mean, I see a fair amount of pricing. Definitely when I'm visiting different markets, you know, I'm headed to LA tomorrow. So I always stop in at dispensaries and sort of just keep tabs on what different products are going for in different places and things like that. Plus on Leafly, you can see prices on every dispensary menu. So you can do your own price research there as well. But yeah, I see a fair amount of price, and I'm always interested in pricing because it like just where you are and maybe what strain it is can really dictate the price a lot.
The reason I ask so much specifically about pricing is me and my partner, TJ Will, who's over here on the couch reading contract law right now. We got 4 fucking contracts.
Sounds riveting.
Yeah. Oh God. This poor guy's job is just, but we are trying to decide what to go into the market with our products. So our process, THCA crystals and sauce. Farmer John makes it. It's my favorite thing. And I'm not just saying that from a product standpoint. I can tell you all my life, I've sold the things I love the most. There's probably 20 jars of hash in this house, and I keep reaching for those crystals. So you can pretty much know what I'm selling. But we are trying to discern probably a price point now here in Arizona. Really good THCA crystals, packaged properly, tested, are around $65 to $70 a gram. We are going to hit the market with something a little better. We believe a better product, a little bit of better terp, made from a little bit of better stuff, a little less on our packaging. Because we're not trying to shine like that. We're trying to do it through referral. And so we've spent like a month trying to decide to go in at 65 or 70. And that may sound like a stupid decision, but you understand better than we do. And if you go in at the wrong price, it sits on the shelf. And if you go in at the wrong price, you left a lot of money in the basket. So these decisions are tough. So what we're doing here is we're going to go in where everybody else is. Whether our product's better or not, we would be a fool. So we want to offer a better product for the market. So specifically in LA, I mean, aren't you seeing THC crystals and stuff at around $100 a gram or not?
You know, I think that's pretty fair. I'm headed to LA tomorrow. So the last time I was there was I don't know, maybe 5 weeks ago. And so I wasn't specifically hunting for THCA, so I wasn't keeping real close tabs, but I'd say $100 per gram for isolate like that is sort of a pretty even baseline across most cannabis markets. You know, I see that here in Washington, where I'm at in Seattle. I see that down in Portland, in Oregon, and I've seen that in Colorado as well. So, you know, I've seen them go for a lot more than that, but I've also seen some of sort of varying quality go for a considerably less than that also. It's sort of interesting because when it comes to isolate like that, I see more people keeping it at $100 per gram or right in that ballpark, but actually adjusting the volume of the product they're selling. So I've seen it sold as like 1/3 grams. I've seen it sold as like 3/4 grams. So something that sort of breaks from the norm when you're purchasing hashes.
I love it. I love to talk of the business too, because it is so interesting. Who's your favorite hash maker, William? Can you say that?
I can definitely say that. My favorite hash maker, and there is a little bias because he's a personal friend of mine, but it would be Voodoo Melts.
Okay.
You can find him on Instagram, Voodoo Melts. He's just getting set to launch his brand, actually a couple brands here in the Seattle area, and he just does fantastic work. All of his solventless is just top notch. I'm constantly sort of blown away every time I go sesh with him because he's got something new. And one thing I love about him is he rotates his terps so he doesn't get locked into just fruity terps or gassy terps or any of that. Like, he always keeps it fresh, and like every time I see him, it's something a little bit different, and that is something I appreciate because I have a hard time smoking the same thing, 2 dabs in a row, let alone 2 days in a row.
No, I understand, and I really like that. You get some guys' hash always tastes exactly the same, and their distillates can sometimes taste exactly the same. So I do appreciate it. And, off subject, guys like this Voodoo Melts, friends like Bond, Frenchie, my friend Cuban, who I won't say he's my favorite hash maker, but
he's a great hash maker, though.
Fucking cookies and cream is fucking good, dude. I'll pay $100 a gram in a heartbeat, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. But these guys have formed a niche because, like, companies like my company, Subcool, and Will's company, we're looking for people. We're looking for talent. This is going to become an industry where the outlaws of the past become the fucking rock stars of the future. And I don't consider myself a rock star. I'm just a hardworking pot grower. But
you're a rock star.
Don't sell yourself short.
Come on. Wear a fuck you hat. Come on.
But I got here because I flaunted my talent in the eyes of the law. And if I hadn't have done that, you guys wouldn't know who the fuck I was. I'm not that smart. I've said this before. The reason I'm famous is because when you couldn't sell seeds in America, I was the stupidest motherfucker here, and I just did. And so now you know who I am. So, but anyway,
you gotta take great risks for great rewards, though.
It's a lot of fun. The story. We changed the industry. Go ahead, Dago.
I just want to pipe in. It's kind of cool. You guys talked. You bring it to the business side of it. This is kind of a continuation of what we talked about on GrowTube last night. But 2 things very relevant to the conversation that we just had. The first one is, Subcool. It's funny that you mentioned some hash people or some brands. You go into these dispensaries and all their hashes taste the same. Well, just in time, the Grow was informing us last night, who works, he works in dispensaries, and he's worked in multiple dispensaries throughout Oregon. He works in the management and running the dispensary. He said in Oregon specifically, and, to his knowledge, pretty much every other recreational state, there are no laws that say that what something is bought in as is what it needs to be sold as. Right. So if there's a popular strain, but it's by the same company, right? So someone come, and this is why what you and Will are doing is phenomenal with the licensing and everything. There's let's say, like, right now, without any kind of contracts or anything, someone could, let's say, wow, this Jilly Beans, we sold out a Jilly Bean hash. Oh, fuck it. We got some Pennywise hash. Just slap the Jilly Bean sticker on it and sell it. Go, boom. There's no law preventing that. So dispensaries do that all the time. They'll get flower in from a whole different brand and they'll just label it as something because there's no law that says they can't do it. So you don't really know what you're getting a lot of the times. So that's why I think what you guys are doing with the licensing is because now you could say, no, it's in our contract. You carry this, you're going to sell this in your store. This is what gets sold, and that's where the contract and the law on the business side actually comes into play. And the other reason I wanted to bring up, because of what we had Brown Guy 420 on last night, and we talked about how, his farm got yanked out from underneath him. Another area where you and Will with licensing is exactly key is because, Brown Guy was partnered with HSO, Humboldt Seed Organization, had access to all elite mothers, genetics, everything like that. So Brown Guy is no longer on the farm, but all of his genetics that he had from all of his contacts are still on the farm. And the next guy is now working with elite cuts, from another farm. So the ability as a breeder to be like, nope, your master farmer does not have the rights to grow our genetics. You can now come in, cut all that stuff down because it's not part of your contract. So I think, I brought you up last night in the show, and I think it's almost fate you're talking about this now, because what you're doing, I think is groundbreaking from a geneticist or breeder's standpoint. Not many breeders are really taking the steps to do this. And I know you're taking a lot of heat for it, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but this is what's happening. So protection, you got to protect yourself any way you can. Life's work in there. You know what I'm saying?
You nailed it. You nailed it, Diego. I mean, one of the things that I can I speak just a little bit about GG4?
You just did.
Fuck you, dude. You're an asshole, you know that.
I think you just did.
Everybody's growing. I guess I was supposed to mute before I said that. Everybody grows GG4. Everyone knows the story of GG4. For those you don't, the reason I'm not saying Gorilla Glue is because the fucking Gorilla Glue company sued the fuck out of them, and if they say it, they can fucking take their shit. So they call it GG4. So we work with these people, and they offer a contract for their clones. And so everybody grows Gorilla Glue 4, okay? Everybody. It's you can buy the glue anywhere. But in a very short period of time, if you have not paid these people a license fee to use it, you're not going to be able to fucking call it that ever again. And me and Will are probably $140,000 deep in legal contracts. And when I tell you this, yeah, me and Will have a piece of paper in a file that cost me and him $62,000. It's a piece of fucking paper. And they're still working on it. We got 3 other pieces of paper. Are you reading one of them right now?
I'm reading my note.
These pieces of paper will change the world. And I'm either going to go broke or go fucking insane, or me and that guy right there are fixing to own about 4 or 5 licenses in America to cultivate cannabis and produce extra.
Subcool. They told Elon Musk he was fucking crazy, and the motherfucker landed 2 rockets standing up simultaneously. All right, just hey, trailblaze.
We're trying. It's getting tough. I mean, you got to understand, literally. I'm going to talk a little bit. I watched this guy cringe over here. So we're in negotiations with all kind of people. We had a fucking lawyer this week refuse to take a line out of a contract and was holding up a fucking multi-million-dollar deal. Do you hear me? Some fucking woman in a fucking office wouldn't take a line off a fucking contract, and it's going to cost me and this guy $20 million fucking dollars. Not me and him $20 million. We get a fucking crumb that falls off the plate, but it's a big fucking plate. So you know what my partners did? They fired her ass. They said, fuck you. Sign the contract. Did we sign a contract at 4 o'clock on Monday? That's what they said. So that's what's going on in business. And we've diverted from William, which I'm going to get back to, because this shit's going to get really important. Dago said something earlier that's really important. So the strains that we move forward with, and we can't do this with all of them, but let's specifically take Jesus OG Kush, so which is on Leafly right now. I'm going to pull it up. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it says, because we were talking about this earlier. I don't even know how it gets up there. So either somebody submits it, correct?
Correct.
Or so what we're looking for. What the hell did I say?
Yeah, there's a couple. Jesus OG.
Thank you.
There's a couple different ways strains end up on Leafly. Back in the day, when Leafly first started, dispensaries actually had the ability to upload the strains that were on their menu, and it gave them a lot of free reign to describe and position a strain a certain way. Since then, our team's evolved, the process has evolved a little bit. We actually have a dedicated strain researcher who spends a lot of time just maintaining the database, but it's a rather large database. So it's just a matter of us sifting through all the submissions that either come from our users on Leafly or the businesses that list on Leafly, and then also finding a balance between sort of the old model of strains being the end all be all of cannabis sitting on the shelf, and now looking at the more current model of people who are actually putting branded products on the market and being forward about who they are and where you can find them, and getting over some of the mystique that breeders in the past have had to maintain for obvious reasons.
Now you've done your job. I'm up on the Leafly site. Now I did not enter this. This is entered correctly as Jesus OG from TGA at Subcool Seeds. It got everything right. Even got, because some people fuck that up, by the way. Very impressive. And then you've got where to buy Jesus OG Kush, and you've got it right here at Swell, this is fucking where you can go to my shop here locally and buy my shit. So one of the questions that me and Will had, so we also sell this strain internationally all over the world. So Leafly's just a local thing, or could you get a link to a bank here?
No, it's not local. We are a global company, so we have certain touch points pretty much anywhere there's access to legal cannabis, you know.
So can I buy, as the owner of this strain, can I buy a fucking link for this page that sends the customers to one of my websites?
Potentially, yeah. If you have a product listed available for sale somewhere, then yes, definitely.
And does that cost money?
I guess it sort of depends on where this link is going and what the purpose of it is. But like you see dispensaries currently linked, and they are paying to list their menu on Leafly, and their menu includes that strain. So therefore, we just connect the dots from what the consumer's looking for to the end point where they can actually pick it up.
I got it. So when I have 130 dispensaries here in Arizona that all have an account with Leafly and they're all on your site, where do you buy it? Bam. I got it. That is cool as shit. So now I was also going just a little bit further in what Dago was talking about. And I don't have a script tonight, so y'all just hang in there with me. Okay, so we're going to grow Jesus OG Kush out. So we've got it registered on Leafly as Subcool TGA. Then we're going to take this this clone, and we're going to register it to Phylos.
Okay.
We're going to know what the clone is. And then we're going to take that special clone, and let's just call it the Arizona Cut. Did you know we can trademark that?
I did.
Not Jesus OG Kush, but the Arizona Cut. So now follow me here. So now we have cannabis for sale in a dispensary that has a hologram on it that says that Subcool says it's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Phylos documenting the genetics of the plant, saying what it is. We have the U.S. Patent Office saying that I'm the only person that could sell it. And then we have you listing it. Do you see how we're establishing branding protection here, Dago? Even though there's not a fucking system. There ain't a system, okay? There's a system for doing pot. But me and that guy here are trying to figure it out. And that is one of the reasons I was so excited about having you on here, because it ain't like we and Scott don't work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week anyway. But one of the things I can tell we need to do is spend about 20 hours on Leafly's site, taking notes, seeing where we could make things either better, improving it for you guys too. Because if there's stuff that's wrong as a breeder, I can say, hey, it doesn't smell like skunk pussy. It smells like watermelon ass or something. Like that. I was being silly to make you laugh. But all right, well, cool. So I want to get to Pennywise. So when we were up here earlier, we searched Pennywise. And this can get complicated sometimes because I have other breeders that have made stuff for me. But so this is Pennywise, and the only thing this in is a flower that someone entered in. So this is a shop that probably entered this in. Oh, I'm not showing it to you. I'm sorry. Being lame. So I'm assuming this is a shop that has entered this in.
Okay. What you are seeing is East Fork Cultivars, which is a Oregon-based brand, is growing Pennywise. So you're actually viewing their brand page, and this actually speaks to the branding and the definition of what you're talking about, because strains are the intellectual property that is shared with growers, and then many different growers can take that intellectual property and grow it using their various methods, whether it's outdoor, indoor, hydroponic, whatever. And that expression of it is very different from maybe the original expression or even the expression of the grower growing it next door. So a branded product on Leafly can actually have a brand page and a product page, and that is then tied to a strain page if it features a specific strain.
Got it. No, more than you know. And I'm some of this stuff I understood, but some of it I wanted you to explain to them. So then we get to actual Pennywise the strain, which, oh my God, you guys did an awesome job of this. I mean, at first I thought I wrote the description, but no, somebody grew this out and did it, because it's right off. 4 phenos of the Stephen King inspired strain exist. So that's kind of cool that people actually know that came from the movie. Just so you know, the guy who actually made this, my ex-partner Dioxide, as a grown man who's honestly scared of clowns. Fucking honestly, like if I show him a picture of it, he fucking screams like a bitch. Anyway, that's this. But I notice on here, with everything we do have on here, we do not have Pennywise listed as a Subcool TGA strain. So as a business owner, how do I fix this?
Well, so there's a couple different angles you could approach this from. One, since you're a breeder, we love working directly with the breeders because they have the most intimate knowledge of the strain that they've produced. So as much as possible, we'd love to connect with them, make sure that the strain pages are accurate, tell the actual history of that strain, and give authentic information and data as far as growing and as far as the lineage is concerned and things like that. But then you can also, excuse me, you can also approach it from a brand angle, and that would be that you are just going in to make sure that your specific product, as opposed to the overarching strain that's available more widely, is true and authentic to you specifically. So your growing method, your soil mix, your any sort of thing that you think would be important to the consumer, the branded page that shows your product is the opportunity to share that information.
Sounds like I have a little bit of homework to do. And
and we would be happy to help you fill it out and make sure that you're looking, prime, because as a breeder, especially, that holds so much value in this space, because those genetics get proliferated, and then through that proliferation, they can become, legendary strains, or they can become blackballed with a bad reputation. And that bad reputation or that good reputation shouldn't come from misinformation. It should come from authenticity and the consumer and the grower's actual response and feelings about that strain. And historically, our industry has been just shrouded in misinformation.
I love it. And by the way, I wanted to talk to the 182 weed nerds. By the way, hit that thumbs up button. I don't know why, because I just say that all the time. Dago taught me to say it. It's because sorry, I got a little lost there. It may sound like I'm being a smartass here asking these questions, but I honestly didn't know. And considering I have never sent Leafly an email, never offered to correct, advise, or help, fucking the information on this website is pretty badass. And I noticed that the branding section of TJ Subcool Seeds is for sale. And can be marked. But I did want to tell you, whoever we'll get in touch with. So I also have a new company called Subcool Seeds that's launching. So we want to get that up there separate, because we will be handling extracts, flour, and stuff like that. Well, let's talk about, would you talk about, will it piss you off, talk a little bit about politics? Wait.
I mean, I might get a little heated, but we can do it.
Fuck it. We like the fuck word here. So what the fuck is going on in California? I mean, if we reissued the fucking drug war, you can't sell weed. We hear weed is $400, $600, $800 a pound. People are driving it across state. And I want to say this again. Big problem, you stupid motherfucking government. If you want to stop the flow of drugs, maybe don't make the biggest fucking producer in the goddamn country overnight against the fucking law to sell the shit. Because people are driving their fucking hoopties out of Ukiah all the goddamn way to fucking Georgia. So, I mean, this is on. You see it, right? You're in the industry. It happened January 1st.
Oh, yeah. It's, it's frustrating because you would think after seeing other states manage a transition and learn from a lot of the pain points and the struggles of those transitions, you would hope that by now we'd be better equipped to anticipate them, to get licensing done in a reasonable fashion so that businesses that have been operating for years, if not decades, can continue to function. It's disheartening, to say the least, to see a lot of people pouring their passion and their money into these projects and not be able to execute because it gets tied up in bureaucratic bullshit.
I agree. By the way, Dago, thank you again for coming on our panel tonight. And after the hour, me and you're going to talk about some business and stuff. I wanted to talk about, and I could look this up. In fact, Madagar might could look it up if he's sitting back there. But the one that strikes me the most is a guy in Calaveras County. And I wish I could remember the name of this gentleman. We can look it up later. But Sid Avery in the channel. How you doing, brother? We miss you and love you very much. So this is a guy, and I like to say it like this, not rudely, but he's not one of us. Not like one of us. He's a guy that had some money. So he moved his family to Calaveras County because they convinced him that it was the place to come to grow cannabis in America. They said, it's okay. You can come here. You can sell your shit and invest your hard-earned money in fucking greenhouses and land and clearing land and tractors and employees. And you can plant the seeds in the ground so that you can harvest the plant. And then you could sell the plant and feed your family. Oh, guess what? Sorry, bro. Can't sell the weed. I mean, this guy's sitting on a couple thousand pounds of weed, and he is pissed fucking off because remember I said he ain't one of us? So his story carries more power. He's like, look, motherfucker, I don't like weed. You asked me to come to Calaveras County and grow the shit. And this is going on over and over in California, which is kind of unusual because here in Arizona, unrelated topic, we have an unusual situation. Here in the state of Joe R. Pyle, fucking place got bigger prisons. Scares me to death driving by some of the prisons here. Cannabis is relatively legal here if you have a permit. And it looks like we're going to pass a law here to go to $50 instead of a couple of $100. And that's going to be de facto criminalization because you're going to be able to call it in on a phone. So my point of that little rant is, how much longer do you think the current government, the current fucking administration can keep up this ridiculous war on the biggest economic boom in history?
I don't know. It's hard to underestimate the power of stupidity, right? Like,
amen.
And they've managed to keep up the charade this long. So, all signs point to it continuing until we really see a major shift in both policy and leadership, first and foremost, but, I'm hopeful that we continue to prove ourselves the way that we have in this industry, and good things will continue to come to us. And we just have to keep breaking down the walls sort of one at a time. And collectively, that's going to turn into one big pile of rubble. We can sweep it up and we can get right back to where we should have been in the first place.
I couldn't capture it on my cell phone. I'm going to buy a Nikon D500 this week. Of course, my camera's burned up in the fire, and I haven't actually taken the time to buy one. Did you know it's not just using the thing? To buy a camera, man, you got to spend a lot of time. You buy a wrong $2,000 camera, and you got a piece of shit you can't use. But my point of that story, I saw a very bizarre shot not too long ago, which is a giant building, which I know is a cannabis manufacturing facility. You just know. It's the biggest concrete building you ever seen in your life in the middle of fucking nowhere with no signs on it. And right next to it is a prison complex. I just wanted to get that picture because that is some weird shit. Because homies are in the jail for weed. It's just kind of the game we play here.
Without a doubt.
Well, we will keep pushing. And more importantly, and I like to talk about this to my fans because I do some crazy, outrageous shit online. I'm legal. I mean, we'll finish the paperwork today. I have my card. I can have 12 plants. This property, and because I want to talk about that because Arizona has some strange rules. They have this 25-mile thing rule. Well, our patients happen to be 25 miles from a dispensary. We didn't write the law. We just took advantage of the law. But here's the most important thing I want to tell you guys. The state of Arizona sent a motherfucking caregiver card to this house. Are we clear? We're not stupid. We're not making this shit up. It's over there in the drawer. It says you can grow marijuana here. And then we have patients here. So as weird as it feels to grow cannabis again under permits and everything, make no mistake, we have right now we can have 24 plants, and that's how many plants we have. I killed 3 plants last time over numbers. First time I've done that in my life. California always let us have. I was going to branch out a little bit. Take a bong hit there, William. I'm going to tell a little quick something. So when me and Jill were in Oregon, I told this story earlier. How did we get to Sonoma County? Well, we were in Oregon, and you could grow however many plants, but it was really hard to sell pot in Oregon. They had this weird law where you could sell it for what it cost to grow it, and what it cost to grow it was like $30 an ounce. And we had met this cat named Joel with a company named Happy Chief. This was back, a long time ago. And I was talking to him, and he said, yeah, I live in Sonoma County. I was like, what's Sonoma County like? He goes, it's expensive. I was like, well, yeah, cool. He goes, this wine country. I was like, yeah, it sounds kind of uppity. Sounds like capers and fucking bagels to me. He goes, yep. I was like, all right. I said, but he said, but we can grow 30 plants. I said, what do you mean you can grow 30 plants? Oh, he goes, well, we go down to the fucking store and we pay $69 for a piece of paper recommendation. We can grow 30 plants. I said, 30 plants on the land? He said, oh, no, man. He said, my wife's got a card. She can have 30 plants. My helper, he's got a card. He can have 30 plants. That's what do you fucking mean? You can have 90 fucking plants on your property for $300 in paperwork? He said, yeah. I said, you can sell it? He said, oh, yeah, you can drive it in your car to the fucking dispensary and they give you cash. I'll tell you guys, y'all been watching me for a little while. I almost burnt the fucking tires off the car leaving Oregon. No shit. I never said that shit before. It was raining like a motherfucker. I hated the rain. We couldn't sell weed. And I found one county. Now check this out. Humboldt County, ganja capital of the world, 30 plants? No, 6. Ukiah? Nope. LA? Nope. Sacramento? Nope, 6. Sonoma County, California, 30 fucking plants. Well, guess what happened January 1st? That's it. You can't sell pot no more. I know 1,000 people who grow pot for a living and do it well, and they can't sell their weed. So this is a problem right now, and unless we're just going to refill the jails up, the government's going to have to do something quickly because we're now locking up the taxpayers. In the old days, we locked up the criminals. You know, I paid $200,000 in taxes in 2017. So if you come after me, you're going to be locking up the motherfucker that pays your salary. So anyway, sorry to rant crazy on the politics end of it, but I've been seeing it every day here. Dago, I haven't asked you. I haven't talked to you in a long time. What's your take on the current ramping up of what I just talked about? It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's what comes along with regulation. But you know, I always push everyone to get your medical card because if you operate under 215 and if you operate under 420, both those laws currently are still in effect. So if you are a medical cannabis grower and you grow at home, you are allowed 100 square foot canopy space per patient in your household up to a maximum of 5 patients. So, you know, get your medical card. You can still go see your doctors. Now, some doctors are getting shut down. Some doctors are closing down because they're scared and they've run off. But you can still go to, you know, find a doctor and get your medical card. That's about the best advice I can give to protect yourself, at least for the home growers, you know, so.
Love it. We're going to take a short break here. Dago, do you have the generator? Can you help us with that Madagar? Did you figure something out?
I'm trying to walk Madagar through it on the Nightbot thing. I'm not sure if you got it.
I got Nightbot installed, but it's giving me some errors, so I'm playing with it right now.
All right. Well, we can do 1 to 100 while we listen to a name that you guys got to watch. What's the call? You're the boss.
I say 1 to 100 is fine.
All right, we're going to do 1 to 100
that.
for the CBD pack. Moderators, stand by. Please, somebody catch somebody.
I'm going to scroll through it personally, so nobody's going to miss out on this. It might take me a minute, but I'm going to watch it.
And it's even a simple number. All right, we're going on break. When we come back, we'll give away CBD package, more with Dago and William from Leafly.
Look here, boy. I know you living that outlaw lifestyle and all, but you know what that's gonna get you? Locked up.
Bruce Hoyt.
You gonna be cuffed up in chains behind bars. You don't wanna do that, boy. You gonna be a wanted man. High speed down the wicked path. Gotta be smart, think quick and fast. Move slick, trick and play solo. Speak slang in ways they just don't know. Cause when the moon comes out, we ride. Outlaws on the move, so move aside. Hard to survive in the world that don't care. Poor man struggle, rich cats they won't share. Think twice when you plan your route. Ain't nobody giving no hand out. Stand up, push and keep going. Blow with the wind, cause the wind keeps blowing. And when it's all said and done, it's true. They'll be looking at your dirty, pointing fingers at you. Keep with the crew, don't trust where you don't stand. Words from a wanted man. I done broke the law, hands tied in cuffs. I'm a wanted man, doing what I can to survive when times are rough. Cause when the sun goes down and I'm on the move, with the moon, I'm just an outlaw, outlaw. Back roads in the mountain city, my partner in crime stays riding with me. Shortcuts in the hills, I know these. Getaway drivers, shake the police. Cause if you get flipping and you take a fall, do the time like a man, never let him get us all. One phone call,
Tell him it's break time.
Rules of an outlaw, untold, unseen. Street justice, no peace. Gotta keep an eye open so we don't sleep. Steady tripping on my mind. Smoking backwood blunt, sipping jars of moonshine. Noontime comes and they ready to draw down. Picking up too much dust for this small town. Gather round the system, it was all a scam. Labeled criminal, words from a wanted man. I done broke the law, hands tied in cuffs. I'm a wanted man, doing what I can to survive when times are rough. Cause when the sun goes down and I'm on the move, riding with the moon, I'm just an outlaw, outlaw. Living outside the law, on the wild west side. Full moon moving with the pack. Post folks, only ones who get your back. Midnight, strike down the dirt road. Old school outlaw with the first load. Under street lights, crimes are violent. And even with the witness, the voice is silent. Some tried and the lifestyle hooked them. Became a lawbreaker and the police booked him. He's a wanted man, Christ on his head. Reward for this criminal, but he's living invisible. And I'll tell you what he said. If I could turn back time, not commit the crimes, I would do it. He told me so I never have to go through it. And as I looked up, again, words from a wanted man. I done broke the law, hands tied in cuffs. I'm a wanted man, doing what I can to survive when times are rough. Cause when the sun goes down and I'm on the move, riding with the moon, I'm just an outlaw, outlaw.
Little Mendo dope here on the Weed Nerd. So I want to thank Dago for stopping in. He saw I was running Skeleton Crew here on the panel and jumped in, and he absolutely, you're always welcome, Dago. And I also wanted to bring something up. A teeny bit of controversy has been started, just a tiny bit, because I haven't been on Grow To in a couple weeks. Friday night, man, I go out and I do shit. I've been catching sunsets. I went on a date or two. I've just been super busy and stuff, but I absolutely love the Grow To Roundtable and will absolutely be back. The other thing I told Dago, and he can tell me now, I don't want to be a fucking prima donna asshole. I have a hard time sitting there for the whole 2 hours. If he'd let me come in for maybe a little bit, either the start or the end, and be present. I might do that. I just don't want to be a dick.
You're welcome whenever. There's no time limit on our show.
Cool. I just sometimes I sit there after an hour and I'm like, oh God, I just can't. I got shit to do. So, so I love that. But I did say, but this wasn't. I said this, and that's why Dago heard it. I said that I thought the guy JJ. I thought it was. I thought it was bullshit. Nothing to do with the round table. Nothing. I thought his whole demeanor, the whole thing, he's a fucking judge, and he got caught growing in his basement. He probably put thousands of us in jail, and his whole demeanor was, I'm a judge that grows pot, and I didn't like it. Ain't a fucking thing to do with Dago or the show. Jesus, he could have whoever on the show. That has nothing to do with it. But I did say that. So Dago said, was it the judge?
It's no worries. He's actually a traffic judge. So
well, that's my thing with the phone.
I know. I totally get. Don't bother me. I'm all good.
Yeah, but no, that was all. And he's probably a fucking totally awesome guy, and I'm just being an asshat about it. But I did say something, and no, I love the Grow Tube. Last night when Dago texted me, I had crawled my ass up a mountain called Spook Hill to take about a week ago. I Googled best sunsets in Mesa. I drove out to this place. If you guys that follow me, I went to this park. There was a fucking band playing fucking folk music. There was kids and dogs. There's ducks. Shit, man. There was so much shit going on. It's beautiful sunset. I took really gorgeous pictures. And I said, you know what? This deserves an hour of my life every day. So every day about 5 o'clock, as long as the weather's decent, I Google it up and I just drive somewhere. Because of where we live, shit, man. You can get 15, 20 minutes. You can be some of the prettiest places in the world. So we went to this place called Spook Hill. Well, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. What's the second part of that fucking word? Hill? Me and hills, right? Oh, fuck you, man. It looked like a stairway to heaven or some shit. So I got about halfway up there before I thought I was going to cough a lung out. The boys and Will showed up and went on up a little further. But one of the funnier things you've ever seen is Will was climbing up on the rocks, and his kids are climbing up behind him. He's like, no, when they get all butthurt and shit. He gets up there and he gets stuck. Then coming down, he hurts his fucking self. And I was like, that's why you don't climb the fuck up the rock face where it says, warning, you can injure yourself if you go past this point. Well, fucking dad injured his goddamn self. But
yeah, about 25. About 25 years old is when that line's crossed. 25 years old, you don't heal so fast anymore as when you were a kid. You can't. The stupid shit needs to stop after 25.
You hear him right there? He's got a knot on his hand. He was dropping rocks on us, trying to kill us. Yeah. Watch out.
Man, I ate it hard. My kid, not to be off topic, but my kids are into the scooters and stuff. I just tried to go down my driveway, damn near threw out my hip, dude. I hit the ground so hard. Jeez, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, no, I know. It's something else. So anyway, the next one on the wheel. So anyway, that's where I was Friday night. I just missed time. I almost missed today's show. Madiger texted me about 5:50. He's like, hey, you need me to send me a link? I was like, damn, the clock. Once you get 56 years old, the clock goes really fast in life. You wake up, it's time to go to bed. You wake up, it's Sunday. It just goes on too fast. But the next one is called what mountain?
South Mountain.
South Mountain, and it's Superstition Mountain. Thank you, brother. Superstition Mountain is kind of cool because it has this lore. The people used to go up there looking for gold, and they would fall in the sinkholes. So there's supposed to be ghosts, right? Did I get that right?
You're right.
I got that right.
Yeah.
So there's supposed to be ghosts up there in the Superstition Mountains. And it is supposedly one of the prettier places to go catch a sunset. Got to tell you, there is nothing like a sunset in Arizona. Now, I love California, and I used to have some of the prettiest sunsets in the world. But in Arizona, if you get right, you can just see the son of a bitch forever. It just goes on. Sunset takes like 50 minutes, which has inspired me to buy a new Nikon. Speaking of Nikons, if any of you people out there are photographers and shoot with a camera, I am definitely looking for recommendations. I like the D5000. It looks exactly like what I want, but they make so many cameras that do so many things. The 7100 is a really good camera, but it's just too fast. I'll never shoot with a 64,000 ISO. I don't go outside at night, so I don't really need that shit. So looking for a good camera that shoots macro. I'll team it up with a 105 Sigma lens. I did find out my old D50, you can buy it used and refurbished online for $99. So I'm going to buy the camera that shot the Book of Dank used. The fucking lens for it was $900. I was like, oh, fuck. There it goes for saving money. But insurance is paying for all this for me. If you haven't heard, William, just because you haven't been here, my house burned down. It sucks. Me and Jill ran screaming through the fire. Sucked. Lost all our shit. Sucked. At 56 years old, they paid us for the house, and I sold the land this week for $375,000. So we bought the house for $541,000. The house burned to the fucking ground, and we got $880,000 tax-free cash. Other than losing all your shit, not a bad business adventure, to be honest with you. I mean, and from what I understand, because of the capital gains law, if you're living in your primary residence for 2 years at the time you sell your house, you can make up to $500,000 without paying taxes. Now, when I sold my house, I wasn't living in it, but it burnt to the fucking ground. So I'm hoping there's a fucking side clause or some shit that says, well, if you can't actually sleep in the motherfucker, you can sell it. But anyway, having said all that, back to William with Leafly. So what's your favorite part of the job?
My favorite part of the job is doing stuff like this, man. Just getting to chat with people that have the same passion for cannabis that I do, and getting to share cannabis with everyone that I get an opportunity to chat with. That's really the best part. Is, I mean, that's sort of what this is all about, right? Is coming together. I mean, cannabis is a million times better when it's shared. So,
oh God, you know what? You just said something so cool. Who wants to, like, when you get something really good, like the prettiest in the world, the first thing you want to do is like, man, I wish my homeboy or my homegirl or my friend or my buddy or my business partner or whoever it is, you just wish you could share it with them. And that's one of the beautiful things about cannabis is the sharing. And you guys have gone a long way. I mean, you guys probably have more information out there than just about anybody about cannabis.
Yeah, I'll agree.
I love it. Well, I'm going to try something here real quick. I've done this a couple times before. Let's see if I can pull this off. So if they'll let me, we're going to go to the pool. So have you seen the pool?
I've been keeping track. I've been watching on Instagram, and I had heard about your house, and I was obviously horrified to hear that, and just knowing how much has probably come from that place and that land that's influenced me and all the people around me. So, my deepest condolences on that end. And it's exciting to see that you managed to land on your feet and do something really cool in a whole new spot. So yeah, I've been watching, and it's exciting, man.
Awesome, brother. I got so much going on here.
All right, but real quick, I'm going to fire this up real quick. We're going to go to the pool. I did this before, so this is cool. I'm going to take you guys to the pool. So Dredd is in the pool right now, and he is trimming for the cages. So let me fire me up right here. Where am I at? This me? There I am. Hello? Hey, technology is fucking cool as shit.
I don't think he realizes, but right now he's actually on mute.
I just texted him. I hope yeah, he on that same phone.
But I can imagine right about now he's saying, I don't like the way these are naked on the bottom and stripped on the top.
Yeah, it doesn't give us the option to unmute him here either, down below.
Yeah, I tried. I can only mute him, but I can't unmute him.
Lord have mercy.
It's okay. He'll wander back here in a minute.
Do you know what strains these are he's growing right here?
Those are, well, I know he's got Purple Punch. Vortex is in the pool, but I don't know what's where exactly. I believe all the big plants are Vortex. But basically this week, or I think that's what Dred's doing now, is stripping the bottoms of the plants. So anything above the canopies is going to be flowered. And I think he said on the 31st on the blue moon. So basically they're cleaning out the bottoms.
I'll tell you, that's going to be nice when those things bud. It's going to be sweet to take pictures right there. You know, just set the tripod up right there at the pool ground level. Here he comes.
How was that? I can't hear when I'm in the room. How was that?
You're muted.
You were on mute.
Muted.
Well, that sucks, Dix.
It looks pretty though.
Looks great though, yeah, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's what I was saying. Sorry about that. Can't see the screen in the light. Is that breath? I hate that we've cut everything off the bottom of the plants. I mean, they were so pretty. Those plants were just these big. The cover crop was all We're down there playing with the cover crop while we're doing shrooms and shit. We're just having such a good time. And now it's just dark under there. It's just like, but that's the way you do it, I guess. I mean, this is a new game, so pretty pumped.
Pretty dope though. A pool full of weed.
All right. It's well, you know, it all started when I couldn't breathe when I moved here because the house is full of chlorine and moisture and shit, and my lungs were just like, no way. So we drained the pool, and then somebody on chat goes, you should grow pot in the pool like Cheech and Chong. And I went to bed that night, and I was like, I should grow pot in the fucking pool like Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So the next day I said it, and I did a thread, and 300 people told me I was the stupidest motherfucker that ever lived.
You should probably do it then.
But then I did it. Yeah, I did it. So we'll see. It's I will tell you this, even if we never harvest any marijuana out of there, which I don't believe that's going to happen. It's a blast. It's a blast. We have a pool in our house full of weed where we play ganja music all day long. I mean, the one day when Will was over, we had 17 people in the pool waiting for the light to come on, sitting around in the pool with their feet in the pool, dangling in the pool, in the dark, just sitting in the dark.
See, same shit. You're just not swimming in water. You're swimming in weed.
That one little girl goes, the one girl goes, what are we waiting on? And all of a sudden the light, 8 lights went. I'm like, that's what you're waiting on. It's awesome, dude. So very, very cool. Well, what's next for Leafly? I mean, you guys are a really big outfit. For just not to knock you down, you started with a bunch of stoners that had a really cool idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how all great cannabis businesses start, right?
Absolutely. So pretty big company. I mean, international and continuing to grow every day.
Yeah, growing rapidly. I mean, you know, obviously, I think everyone's like looking at California right now and just sort of trying to figure out where it's headed, what's going to happen, and how things are going to shake out. So, you know, I think it's hard to say what's next until we sort of see where California, who's been such a leader in marijuana for so long, where that market is going to go, because I think it's really going to dictate a lot of how the rest of the West Coast is going to function, you know. So,
well, just to give you an idea of what's going on outside of that, and I do appreciate everything. William, what an awesome guest. You're welcome here anytime. Thank you very much. I hope you'll keep up with the Weed Nerd Live show. And sure. All of our guests and everything. But the one thing I was going to tell you is this is about to change, because me and Will meet with some very powerful people. I mean, we're just peons trying to get a nut, but we meet with some pretty powerful people. And we met with people last week who have a license to grow and produce cannabis in Colombia, who can export oil to Mexico and Canada. So this shit's about to get fucking real, okay? Because I could get a permit to produce oil to ship it into other countries. And these people are talking with us. And I don't want to overshine. It's nothing happened. It was a dinner. The possibility is there. And as long as a possibility is there for someone like myself to take something that used to be illegal, which is now legal in other countries. You do got to understand, some countries legal, some countries illegal. There are countries that don't give a fuck about what the U.S. is doing. And these are hash exporting and importing countries. So the money, I believe, is what's going to turn the tide. I want to kick it to Dago, who has joined us. This guy keeps an eye on finance and cannabis as well. So, I mean, you agree with me on the international market. It's going to push the U.S., yes?
Oh, I think so. And again, I would just advise, just make sure you're not exporting out of the United States.
No.
Hopefully that would be grown in a country that allows exporting. But yeah, and it's interesting because I think these other countries, they're really going to push the UN, and that's really what needs to happen. Is the UN drug policy needs to get changed as well, because separate from what the DEA does here, there is still the UN drug policies, and that kind of governs. You know, those aren't laws specifically, but it's a treaty that all the countries kind of live by. You know, so very distinct set of rules there, but policies nonetheless that still need to be modified and adapted. But yeah, I agree with some of these other countries are doing that, are allowing importing, exporting. They're starting to see the tax revenue. And what's interesting now, with a lot of the bills being blocked, from going into the House to get voted on here in the United States, if you've noticed, you've seen a lot of these finance companies, they used to show projections of the cannabis industry in financial terms, in terms of how much tax revenue by state. And now they've been giving it like a blank percentage, and they've been starting to advertise, look at the tax revenue at a federal level. You know, they're basically saying, hey, IRS, check it out. By 2020, it could be $2.6 billion in tax revenue for the federal government at the federal, like free money, so that you can start to tell even the finance guys are starting to advertise to try and open the eyes up, because the government operates, right? It's like, hey, money. But the flip side to all that, the poor side, is that all those taxes, they come right back to us, the growers. The growers are the ones that have to eat it. We talked about it last night. Like, price is getting pushed so far down, up in Oregon and California. Price per pound is dropping. So it's getting tougher and tougher. So that's why, again, branding, it all circles back to what you and Will are doing. It's all groundbreaking stuff.
And make follow. I got to tell you, we were watching, learning. We've been lucky. Some other people contract, and learn a lot. Soul has been very helpful. Kyle Cushman has been very helpful. And I missed a shout out. Kyle Cushman will be here next Saturday, by the way, Madagar. So I guess we have a guest for next Saturday. I forgot to tell you.
That'll work. That'll work.
He's coming by the house with a film crew to do some promotion in front of the Dab Bar and the Grove. So I'll talk to you a bit more about that. But anyway, this thing is a big deal. So basically, this is the way I've said it. They ran out of Tommy Chong's and Willie Nelson's. So they have to come get the Subcools, the Chem Dogs, the Souls, the Bubble Mans, the Bogs. And I think it's cool. How cool would it be for Bog to get a branding deal? Have y'all ever met Bog? It's one of the nicest people you ever met in your life. And I can assure you, he's not a capitalist, and he probably does not understand or care about this branding thing. He's probably wondering about his next bubblegum plant that's going to harvest. He certainly deserves the cred. I mean, the guy basically built Overgrow with threads. So very cool. Dago, GrowTube Roundtable. So you guys got into it last night about y'all. It was supposed to be about soil, but I guess y'all went into something else, huh?
Yeah, it was. We had Brown Guy 420 on, and it was supposed to be a show about growing cannabis organically. We were kind of gonna. The idea was to throw it back to an old school show where it really was kind of unscripted, and it certainly was an unscripted show. It was great. I mean, it was one of those conversations where, like, holy shit, 2 hours just went by. Okay, that's the show, folks.
Yeah.
But we started talking about Brown Guy's situation, and that just kind of led into kind of a corporate cannabis and the state of the industry, and it led into prices and what's happening with supply and demand, which is interesting. And kind of a question I'd love to ask Leafly here. We talked about how Just in Time to Grow in his dispensaries throughout Oregon, and also from what we're seeing in places, other apps like Weed Maps, pre-rolls and cartridges are like, can't keep them on the store shelves. Like, that's in the high demand. And we talked about how are people pulling out brands for quality, etc.? And they're like, no, they, flavor certainly sells, and also, certain brands of pre-rolls and vape cartridges, because people really still can't tell flower from one another, but they want to come in. They want especially the new people, the people who have like never smoked cannabis before, like they don't know what they're looking at with flower. They just know that one's popular, and it's like, 3 joints for $5 and give me a 3-pack of that and I'm out. And then by the time, the weekend's over, they're all done. They wash their hands with it and they come back next week. So the cartridges, the pre-rolls, it spun off in all directions. And we talked about organic cannabis viability. This organic cell versus hydroponic, the things like that. It was great. I encourage everyone to go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. And it's great with the chat being recorded on these shows now, even your shows. You can go back and you can listen and follow along with the chat room too, which is great as the one of the panelists, because we only get to see portions of the chat. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
How much? So I'm hitting on a this pen is it's a demo that somebody got me. We've gone through about 50 of these things, checking on them. So this is full of Farmer John's terp sauce. No distillate, no weird shit, no fake or watermelon terps. Just
is that one of those PAX pens, or is that a different brand?
This is a PAX.
Yeah, that's the era, huh?
Yeah, that's an interesting business model those guys have kind of gone after.
I like it, but it's not my fave. But Will, how many fucking cartridges did you just tell me that one place does a month?
1,000 a day.
1,000 fucking cartridges a day.
Yeah, so they've gone kind of like the Gillette sales model. You get the battery, and that's a way for them to control their quality too, right? You get a great accessory. You sell the accessory itself really cheap. I think it only costs like less than $20 to get the actual battery pack, or 10 to 15 if you catch it on sale at least here in California. But the pods are not cheap. They're at least in California, they're from anywhere from $50 to $75. Per cartridge, retail, over the counter, and only certain dispensaries or brands are allowed to make the pods, and PAX gets to decide who they sell the pods to. So that's a way for them to control the quality of what flowers and what brands actually get to be associated with that device too. So interesting model they're going with as well. A lot of people trying to throw up walled gardens very early. Typical of the days of the gold rush, everyone trying to capitalize where they can. But then you got, I'm just going to shout him out just because I love the guy. You got the warriors out there like Grow Mouse, who's, even though he works for Chilled LED, he's 3D making these 3D print designs for the DIY guys. And he's still out there throwing them out there open source, free for everyone to learn from. No closed loop system. Here's parts, here's some models. Find a 3D printer, print it up, grab your L bars at Home Depot. You got yourself a DIY LED light, one afternoon. So, just different sides of the industry, different companies approaching the community different ways, So, we talked about it last night too with Brown Guy and all this. There's a culture difference, and I'm sure you're seeing it right now. The financiers have a certain culture and methodologies they operate by, and then there's the cannabis culture, which is completely different.
Yeah,
it's a different world, and it's so funny dealing with everyone that we deal with. And I would tell you that I do enjoy being Subcool, especially in this time, because in the old days, I didn't say shit. And now, believe me, I'll sit right in a corporate office with a roller. What do you do? I grow cannabis, and I grow tons of it, motherfucker. You want to get in business with me or not? And it's a fun time to do that. But it is also a challenging time. Hey, I want to show you guys just a little preview real quick. We're getting close to the end of the show here. And this is something I've been working on for a long time. So this is the new Subcool Seeds website. Of course, it is not live, so please don't go click on it and tell me you can't find it. This is a working site. So this is basically the new Subcool site is going to be kind of neat. It's going to be a hub for everything that is Subcool, whether it be video, growing, seeds, soil, flowers, hash, people that know me, my friends, people that I do business with, Phylos. So we're pretty excited about it. We have a pretty cool new click-through. This is the, we're going to put where do I get right on top? And then when we get into here, the soil and everything, I'm going to go into all of the soil links that have ever been put on the internet. All the videos. Remember that video I put up the other day of Farmer John, me and him mixing soil back in 2006? John looks like a fucking porn star, and I look like the director or some shit. What a strange video. But we're going to put all that stuff out there, all the information about that, flowers and everything. Also, we're going to have everything right here on the hands. I'm still working on all this stuff, so excuse the crappy text. So there's Instagram, there's Big Buds, there's, I think, Roll It Up, there's Breed Bay, so we'll get Overgrow up there. This one is my favorite. If you motherfuckers can't figure out how to contact me now, y'all need to shoot yourself in the fucking head. So if one person goes to the website and says, I don't know how to contact Subcool, I give up. I made an entire section that says speak with Subcool. Hopefully y'all can find that. So basically that's it. One-stop shopping. We have the High Times Cup coming up, as well as Kush Stock. Down here, we're going to have, like, this is going to be the tester said shirts. Over here, it's going to be click through the breeders. So, oh my God, I had no idea how much a work a website was until I got started on this thing the other day. It just has pages and pages that go on, but we're very excited about it. And at the same time, I am reworking the TGA website because it is self-destructing, because the web server who built it on Joomla, and he built it on his server. And I guess when they moved it to another server, it's pissed off. I don't quite understand this stuff, but I know my guys know what they're doing. So $7,000 to rebuild the TGA website. So I'm building 2 websites at the exact same time. Exhausting work, but really a lot of fun. Get everything optimized. The most important thing about all of this is to be able to stay in contact, stay relevant, and moving forward. So that's kind of what's been going on there. Let's see, Madagar, next week, I will work very hard to get Mr. Kyle Cushman on. Let's me and you collaborate together to get Mr. Rosenthal scheduled. Yep. I wouldn't mind getting Miss Rosenthal. Well, Jane, her name is not Miss Rosenthal, Jane Klein. Get her on. I would really like that. William, thank you very much for coming on the show.
No doubt. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast. I'd love to do it again sometime.
Will's got one for you.
Here, I'll jump up here.
Come on.
So, Will, got a question for you real quick, brother.
Go.
So I'm curious, can we work with you guys and source a national MSRP for Subcool products? Can we take all the information on Leafly through all the different shops without manually doing it and trying to source all this code ourselves and somehow get a hold of you and get a general consensus, an average price of a Subcool product in a licensed situation, in a licensed production facility? Can we get that number from you guys?
So it sounds like you're looking for data insights, and that's definitely something that we offer. The specifics of exactly what you're looking for, I mean, I need you to talk with our data science team to tell you what can and can't be done, but that seems reasonable. I think just connecting the dots over to some of the other teams is probably the best route, but I mean, at a very high level, that seems possible.
Okay. Because, I mean, we're worried about consistency of all. And, I mean, if you have a product, just because all the markets are different, if we have to use Arizona and Nevada, you know, as examples, if it's more expensive in Nevada, and, of course, we got to take in account how much it's costing to grow and those kind of things. I mean, we can have a little bit of fluctuation, but it would be nice to have an average number with all the legal states of what a Jack the Ripper flower in an eighth looks like.
Yep, totally. And we publish some of that stuff publicly when we find like really interesting data that shows us something, like, you know, cookies sells for 25% more than whatever other strain, you know, just as an example. But so like when we see data like that, we like to show that to people because it's just interesting. But then also from, you know, the business perspective, that is something that we offer to our partners, is data insights that allow them to understand some of the market and some of the other markets and how they can better make decisions based on that data.
Correct. I mean, everything is about data sourcing and figuring out where everybody lies. And I mean, I know we're going to see a big difference between, let's use Oregon, for example, that somehow is selling pounds for let's use an arbitrary number of $500 a pound compared to out here where you're picking up a pound for $3,200.
Right.
You have to take these things in account, but it would be really nice to be able to get these analytics from somebody like your company, so that a smaller company that's trying to be a larger company like us wouldn't have to do all this work when we're already looking at contracts and building websites and all this other stuff. If we could source that through you, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, Sub mentioned earlier that he just claimed the brand on Leafly, and that's sort of like the first step. So any brands, if you're starting a new one and it's not already up there, ping it to them and make sure we get it added. But once you sort of take over the controls on the back end of how your brand looks and position, then we get more and more data and insights that are specific to your brand specifically. So I think you've already done the first step. The next step would just be to follow up with one of our account reps who will just make sure you're lined up and exactly where you need to be, so that we can start to get you data like that you're wanting.
Cool. Well, if you can connect those dots for us, I mean, that would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I'll follow up with Madiger, you know, after the show or on Monday or whatever, and just make sure you guys have your local rep. I know we have an awesome team down there in Arizona, so I'm sure they'd love to connect with you guys, figure all that out. And again, like whatever other states too, because we're all over the place.
Sweet. I love it. Thank you, dude.
I love it, Weedner. Who else does goddamn cannabis business right in the fucking in your face? Hey, I got a shout out. Or somebody asked about Herbman earlier. Herbman is fine. He did do a little bit of time, but he got out. He hangs out with the Mendo Dope Boys up there. You can probably find him at Taco Tuesday at the Soil King in Cloverdale, California. Good people, good times. I think Mendo Dope's having a concert coming up soon. Dago, what's on not Friday?
They're going to be live. They're going to
live.
Dope's performing at Taco Tuesday. So
yeah,
coming up, this Tuesday.
It's awesome time, man. You got, you know, one thing I miss. Well, I miss many things about it, but one thing I really miss about that, I'm pretty much a king around that place too. And I go up there when the boys are playing, just get on the stage, grab their microphone, act like an idiot, throw seeds at everybody, throw joints out in the crowd. You're not supposed to throw joints. And everybody goes, yeah, I fucking love that place, man. I miss it. Good tacos too. So Dago's show, the Grow Tube Roundtable, the show that basically inspired the Weed Nerd Live show. I would have never done this live if I wouldn't have saw this. Every other Friday night now. What's up coming up the weekend after next, Dago?
So weekend after next is hydroponics. We kind of swapped. It was supposed to be this show, but you know, Brown Guy was able to come on, and so we had to reverse them. So next week will be hydroponics. And then the following shows after that, we have Quest dehumidifiers coming on, and Mammoth Microbes, Colin from Mammoth coming on as well. And no date yet, but towards the end of May, we're probably going to have Can of Nutrients on the show as well. So we got a couple of good shows lined up coming up. So yeah, every other Friday, guys, check it out.
Awesome. Make sure you check it out. The Grow Tube Roundtable, very structured to learn a lot, not a lot of silliness. Dago runs a tight, great show, lots of fun, but a tight ship, not as much stupidness, and he stays on track a lot more than me. You probably got shows planned out for fucking months or years or something like that.
Well, we're booked through, like I said, the end of May. That's how far out we are right now. So just trying to stay ahead of the game. That's one thing we learned early on. If you plan ahead a little bit, it definitely helps. So we're just week to week was too much for me. So every other week is great. Gives us time in between shows, and we can space things out more. So
I love it. I love it. I'd like to thank everybody for joining as always. I think we hit about 250 people. Really good. A couple of little quick news keeping. I am still trying to get the Instagram page back, Weed Nerd 420. I know the dudes Pot Grows, whatever, got their Instagram back, and we're going to still fight on it. I guess the old Weed Nerd channel is supposed to come up, but we are going to leave this show here. I'm not moving the show. I will use the other channel for uploading Weed Nerds. There's 794 videos on that channel. I reference the YouTube channel on my media advertising now. Let me tell you a whole new thing. You want to get pissed off? Print 20,000 motherfucking pieces of information with your goddamn Instagram handle on it and have the motherfuckers delete it. This is a whole new kind of business here, okay? This isn't Susie's patty cakes that you ain't putting up. I put fucking money to put this thing on.
Are they going to give you that back? What's the story? Have they?
I've got 3 lawyers on it. 3. But I ain't heard shit. This is what we know. There's the Dudes Grow Show, whatever this was called. Pot Brothers at Law. I mean, these guys do everything, including almost throw shit at cops. They absolutely get how not to get busted, how to get busted, ride around with 2 joints. I mean, do stupid shit. And they got banned. They got kicked. And they got their fucking page back, which means somebody paid somebody. I'll write the check, okay? Give me back my goddamn corporate account. I'm tired of it. I got banned for showing myself buying 10 pounds of cannabis in a legal dispensary legally. All I did was go in the place and go, we would like to purchase this cannabis within the legal state limitations, and they banned me. Fuck you. I'm not breaking the law, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being treated like a 1%er when I'm just a 13%. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us tonight. We're going to go out with a little Mendo dope. It's all worth it.
Thanks again, Fab.
Thanks, William.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers.
We'll be back at 8 o'clock with the after show.
Words that I speak, teach those who listen. I don't follow anyone in my own position. Never chat with police under no condition. See my life looking through men, don't vision. Made a decision, holding my ground. Some said I shouldn't do it, others were proud. Staying original, rocking the crowd. Teaching this game to those who never doubt. It's about peace, shaking the belly of the beast. Hanging with OGs, telling me about the streets, and I learn. Soak it up and use it. Flip it to what I'm doing.
Peace out.
Take care, guys.
Have a good night, man.
See you, man.
Have a dank day.